Apart from consolidating previously learned information, sleep also facilitates the encoding of new memories after sleep, so says the research. So what are the tools for optimizing sleep and sleep-waking timing then? Optimizing sleep and sleep-waking time involves adopting healthy sleep habits. Firstly, if you can look for a consistent sleep schedule or schedule in other places, you're going to give yourself a very consistent and sustainable way of attaining good sleep, enough for you to get those and process those memories, but rest your cells in each cell of your body. Now, establishing this consistent sleep schedule is by going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This is where people struggle. I'll be honest, I struggle with this myself, because it's great to get up at the crack of dawn, or maybe at 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock, but once you get there, you're now coded for the rest of the day with your energy. You know exactly where your energy levels should be at. And if you eat certainly around the same amount of proteins, carbohydrates, and so on, we get to that moment, well then towards the end of the night, you're going to get tired at a certain time. And therefore, guess what happens? You'll sleep at the same time, wake up at 01 again the next morning. But if the weekend kicks in and you party a little bit, that's where it's going to struggle. And the second night, you're going to be super duper tired. And this is where sleep hygiene comes in. It's really important to have this practice, because if you practice good sleep hygiene, say by creating a relaxing bedtime routine, this then signals to your body that it's time to wind down. So even a couple of hours before bedtime, you might kind of yawn, which I could have done right there because I wasn't far off sleep. But once that happens, it's like knocking on the door. It's time that you put away the screen. It's time that you stop eating. It's time that you prepare your bedroom. This may include, say, activities such as taking a warm bath right then, or practicing relaxation techniques so that you align yourself with that yawning, that feeling that you're getting drowsier, because this is welcoming sleep, allowing it to just envelop you when it happens and you hit that hey. It's important then at this stage to limit your stimulations and electronics by avoiding them, and even things like caffeine, nicotine, close to bedtime. Why? Because these can interfere with your ability to fall asleep. At the end of it all, it's like we're leaving our body just on the bed, so we're falling away from it. By limiting exposure to, say, smartphones or electronic devices, tablets, we're limiting our exposure to blue lights, which are going deep into our eyes and into our brains. This can disrupt our sleep cycle, and even hours down the line and the next day, we don't feel as energized as we should because of it. If you create a comfortable sleep environment, you're making sure your bedroom is conducive to sleep. Think about it this way. You have a kitchen. We know what's in a kitchen. You've got all your electronics, you've got your food making and preparation, you've got your refrigerator. If you have a living room, you're living in it. What do we do when we are alive? Well, we're moving about. We're perhaps intaking information. We have smartphones there, we have chargers there, we have screens and televisions. Great. We can look at the mirror. Why? Because we look at ourselves to make ourselves better and look better towards other people. We're living. But if we're in a bedroom, we only need to have a bed and soft furnishings around that. That means pillows are there. We have covers over the bed. We have a lovely maybe chair in the corner where we can have soft furnishings such as cushions there. The carpet is nice and clean and clear. We have a darkness in the room, or an ability to make the room dark. We have thicker curtains. It's warmer. We're making sure that we're not just relying off electricity, because if that goes, we want it to be able to not wake up during the required electricity outage or something like that. And instead, ideally, if we look back, say, on years ago and decades ago, before all that came in, we had many houses with big fireplaces outlawed in many lands now, including my own. But that was a place for heat. If we think of the cowboys out in the yonders, they'd have heat or fires beside them. So we want to be warm enough to sustain ourselves throughout the night. We wake up to go to the toilet or whatever else, 3, 4, 5 hours into our sleep. That's when our rapid eye movement in our sleep and our brain wants us to be warm and to enter into a cozy, nice, comfortable, created sleep environment, our bedroom. And then we have to make sure that throughout the day we're not stifling ourselves. How can we stifle ourselves? Well, if we go back to the very beginning of what I said, by having this routine even on weekends, if we're waking at a certain time in the morning, every time, that means we know the required energy throughout the day. We're self-calibrating ourselves throughout the day. We're energized and there's no need to take a nap. Lots of people take naps, siestas and so on. They're not a bad thing. But if we want to sleep at night, be energized and live during the day, then short naps can be actually destructive to that. Now, while short naps can be beneficial for some people, excessive daytime napping can interfere with nighttime sleep. So if you keep a short nap going, maybe 20 minutes, that's okay. So set an alarm. That's where you can use your smartphone or something like that beside you to set that alarm. It's very important to have even 1 or 2 alarms at least, so we don't outsleep the 20 minutes, because if we do that, we're taking from the nighttime hours of sleeping, and that's when we might wake and suddenly we're kicked off away from that sleep schedule. Believe it or not, regular exercise is important. Now, I've done it before in the middle of the night exercising. It's going to throw you off. So you want to regularly exercise throughout the day, morning, evening times. Remember, in the evening times, you're approaching maybe that level of tiredness. You know how many hours you've been up. If it's coming close to 12, you're certainly not a good time to start the exercise. But by engaging in regular physical activity throughout the day, exercise can promote better sleep quality and help with your regulation. So if you aim for, say, at least 30 minutes, then you're going to have a better sleep pattern throughout the night. Now, what type of exercise? If you make sure that it's vigorous exercise for 30 minutes. Now, when I say vigorous, I'm talking about sprinting as quick as you can for a few seconds and then stopping. Let the heartbeat catch up again, get your breath and go again. You can do this for 30 minutes. That's why partaking in an exercise routine such as group exercise, like playing a bit of ball, can be good, because you're sprinting for a few seconds, then you're resting, then you're recalibrating, then you're walking, you're getting close to people, and you're chatting and having good fun and all of that. And then 30 minutes pass. Like, that's why it's regulated towards, say, half of a game in many games that are out there. So making sure that you exercise properly every day and making it sustainable is super important. Also, feeding that exercise is watching your diet. Pay attention to your diet and avoid heavy meals like spicy foods before and even throughout your exercise regime, which is now your new routine. Also, avoid large amounts of liquids close to bedtime, because you'll get up more regularly. Therefore, your sleep pattern is broken. You might be brought with new light of the day peeping through the curtains. Not good. And lastly, but not least, mind your caffeine. Caffeine is a great thing. It stimulates the brain. Take it earlier on in the day. If you're taking it in the morning, that's cool. But remember, it's going to dehydrate you throughout the day as well. So make sure your fluids then are balanced with that as well, so that when you come to that sleep cycle or the routine prior to bedtime, you're in good stead. For now, I'm happy if you've watched this. If you've got this far, thank you very much for watching. And please continue to watch more.